Hello, my name is Charles Porter and this is 8.4 fitness testing. So, basically I had a client called Una Gray. With him I did some tests that basically were related to a sport, which was tennis. So with these tests I got some results from these tests and then I compared them to normative data. So first of all we had the vertical jump test. So this test would basically be you'd stand up against the wall and then you jump up and try and reach as high as you can. This test will basically test your power in your legs. So with this test, he basically measured 62 centimeters, 62 again, and then 61. So this will average around 61.5. So if we look on the normative data, we can see that he got a very good score compared to normal results, which is obviously very good as it shows that he has good power on his legs. So to prove this, I then did another test to see if he actually has got good power on his legs. So I did the standing broad jump test, which basically you would stand as still as you can, and then you'd basically jump as far as you can, and then you'd measure how far he jumped. So he did 7'3", 7'3", and then 7.4. So if we compare this to the results here, he's basically sitting at an average score. So this is very different compared to a very good score from this normative data. So I basically did 2 of these tests just to make sure that the results are right. Then we moved on to the sit and reach test. So his results were quite weird here, so there might be an anomaly here. But he basically had 16 centimeters, 23 centimeters all of a sudden, and then 16.5 centimeters. So if we compare this to the normative data again, 23 centimeters, which was his highest, so he'll probably average around. His average out of these scores will probably be around 18, 19. So if we compare this over here, he'll still get an excellent really, so it won't really make a difference. So obviously his flexibility, as this test, your flexibility. So his flexibility is obviously very good. As in tennis, sometimes you have to reach really low down in order to reach a shot. So you have to have very good flexibility. Then number 4, we had the hand grip dynamometer. So this test basically tests your strength. So basically for him, he had 48.1 kg, 42.3, and then 47.5. So he's averaging around 45, 46 mark. So if we compare this to the averages again, so he's basically at a normal stage, so he's slap bang in the middle of normal. So this basically shows that he might need to work on his strength. So basically doing more work in the gym, basically doing more bicep curls, maybe extending the weight length, and also the time length as well. Then for number 5, he had the 35-meter sprint test. So this obviously tests your speed. As in tennis, you need to have very good speed in order to get to a drop shot. The same with power actually. To get to a drop shot, you need to have very good power from your legs so you can push off quickly. So from the 35-meter sprint test, he did 5.3 seconds, 5.05 seconds, and then an amazing 4.6 seconds. So if we take these into averages, because once again there might be an anomaly, but if we take this into averages, it'll probably be 4.8 or around 4.9. So if we look at this here, so he's between the good stage and a very good stage compared to normative data, which is obviously very good. So he doesn't really need to bother about his speed very much because it's already at a high level. And then for the last test, we did the bleep test. So the bleep test basically tests of your cardiovascular endurance. He reached level 9 in phase 5 of this test, where if we compare it to the normative data, it's actually not a bad score, but it's not amazing. So it's average to poor really. So you might need to work on his cardiovascular a bit more because in tennis you are running around quite a lot. You are running around quite a lot to get to different shots. So moving on, so I explained a little bit in detail about the suitability of each test. So the vertical jump test and the standing broad jump test, so they basically test the power. So in tennis this is very suitable because to reach a shot that's quite far away you need to have power in your legs to reach it, to basically leap yourself forward and reach to it. The sit and reach test obviously tests flexibility. This is ideal because if a shot was played quite close to him, well not close to him, but quite far, and he would have to reach down with his arm, he needs to have good flexibility in his arms and legs so he can reach down and make the shot. And then the hand grip dynamometer obviously tests your strength. So for this test, I chose strength because in your arm, in your hand, you need to have very good strength when playing tennis so that you can hit the ball quite hard, so that it makes it harder for your opponent to reach it. And then we had the 35-minute sprint test, so you need to have a lot of speed in tennis so that you can reach different shots. So if you were at the opposite side of the court to where the ball was played, you need to have good speed to get there before it bounces twice. And then the bleep test finally, which is cardiovascular endurance. So as I've said with the sprinting, then the power, they all kind of combine into a lot of running in tennis. So to have a lot of running, you need to have a very good cardiovascular system. So to test this, I used the bleep test, which is very suitable. So out of these tests, there were some strengths and there were some weaknesses. So let's start with the strengths. So the strengths, as we can see from the results, his vertical jump test, so his power, in other words, tested very good. So if we compare it to the other results, it's very good. And then we had his sit and reach one, so the flexibility. As we can see here from the sit and reach, he tested very good on this, as his averages were above the national averages. And then his sprints, then the sprint test, so the 35-minute sprint test, was very good compared to the national averages again, showing that he has very good speed. But then, however, there are some weaknesses. So his strength, his cardiovascular fitness, and also I put power in here as well, just to be sure, because this one he had very good power, as we can see, but then on the standing broad jump he actually lacked a bit of power. So I put in power for weakness, just an area to focus on slightly, but it's not a major area to focus on. So the hand grip dynamometer basically, so strength. He didn't do amazingly on strength, but he had a good average. So he was average, but it's definitely an area for improvement. As strength, you need a lot of strength in tennis, in your arms and in your hand. Bleep test, so CV fitness, it was just under average. It was around average. But in tennis, you need to have a very good cardiovascular system. So that's definitely an area to look at and improve. And then standing broad jump, as I've just said, with power, it's just something to look at and carry on with. So improvements, just a summary. I've got strength, CV fitness again, and then power. But I also put in his diet because looking back at the questionnaire that I did with him, his diet seemed a bit off from what he should be eating, from what the government guidelines are suggesting. So if we take these 4 things into account and put them into a fitness program, this is what it would look like. So for week 1 of the fitness program, of the 2-week fitness program, I should say. So for Monday, he's going to have a rest day to start off with, and then on the Tuesday, he's going to have fartlek training. So for fartlek training, basically it's training where you're constantly moving. So you're either walking, jogging, or running. I thought this was ideal for tennis because you are standing still sometimes, but you're moving the majority of the time to reach shots. You're not just standing still and hitting it. You aren't moving. Your body is moving. So with this one, it's going to be 100 meters stretch. It might be in a square, it might be in a circle, it might just be a stretch. But basically, he's going to have 3 walking cones. So he's going to get 3 opportunities to walk, and this is going to be 10 meters apart each cone. And then he's going to have 4 jogging cones. So he's going to have four chances to jog. So that's 40 meters, in other words. And then he's going to have 3 sprint cones. So basically 30 meters of sprinting out of the 100. After this, he'll have a short break. So this will go on for about 15 minutes. He'll have a short break and then do another 15 minutes, and have another short break and do another 15 minutes. So basically, he'll repeat it 3 times. So then after this, I put in a dietary lesson and technique. So basically, the dietary lesson will it will give him an overview of his diet and how he can change, and plans of change as well. So what he needs to do in the future. But also I've put in technique, because to get better in these tests and to get better at like power and things like that, we need to practice his technique and see if he's doing the correct technique. So to do this, we'll look at videos. We'll take videos of him doing the fartlek training or doing other different training sessions, and then look back at them to see if he's doing the right thing. So then on the first day, we're doing a gym session. We're going to be doing bicep curls and tricep dips. Doesn't seem like much, but we're going to be repeating them through. So he's going to be repeating them 3 times with 1-minute breaks between. So for the bicep curls, I want him to do 20 kgs on each arm, and basically repeat it 50 times on each arm. So going 1, 2, 3, etc. And then for the tricep dips, I basically want him to basically do as much as he can on the first go, and then basically taking in the score that he has, I want him to beat it on the second go, and then beat that score on the third go. So I want him to improve after each time he does it. And then he has a rest day Friday, basically to recover. Then Saturday he has another gym session, but this time he's going to be doing the rowing machine. So with the rowing machine, he's going to start off quite light, so there's going to be minimal friction. So he's going to do 15 minutes of that. Then he's going to have a short break, maybe around 1 or 2 minutes. And then after that, we're basically going to increase the intensity, so make the friction a bit more, to basically make the pull a lot harder to pull. And he's going to be doing another 15 minutes of that. And then that'll be it for Saturday. So that's it for the first week. So if we look back at the first week and then we take some SMART targets. So we have fartlek training. So basically for fartlek training, I just want him to complete it. I don't want him basically walking out and then slowing down on like the jogging and sprinting stage. I want him to give it 100% effort and not stop. And then for the gym session, bicep curls and tricep dips. So basically, for the bicep curls, so he's going to be doing 50 in 1 minute, and then the tricep dips, basically just aiming to improve after each time. And then the rowing machine, basically increasing the friction, and then just going the full 15 minutes without stopping. Right, week 2 then. So the last week, the fitness program. So Monday he's going to have a rest day again, and then Tuesday he's going to carry on with the fartlek training. But this time, he's only going to have one stage, so 1 10-meter distance of walking. I've then upped the intensity, as I've put 5, so basically 50 meters of jogging, and then I've upped the sprinting as well, and I've done 40 meters of sprinting. So he's going to be doing 50 meters of jogging, 40 meters of sprinting, and 10 meters of walking. So he's going to carry on doing this for 15 minutes. He's going to have a medium break afterwards, so he's going to have 5 to 10 minutes break. If he need be, if he's fully recovered, I'll measure his heart rate, see if he's got back down. And then basically he's going to repeat this another time, and then we might even do it a third time. And then on the Wednesday, he's going to carry on with his dietary lesson. Basically, on this day, we're going to go through his basically his diet plan. So we're going to plan through his whole week, and we're going to plan what he's going to eat throughout the week. And I want him to last that basically for how long I think he should have it. And I'll make my mind up when that lesson comes along. And then basically, just look back over his technique. And we're going to look back in this technique session. We're basically going to look at the technique in more detail, ready for the fitness testing at the end of the week, which I'll just come to. So on the first day, he's going to be doing a gym session again with bicep curls and tricep dips. So basically, I've increased the weights, so I've done 25 kg on each now. And he's also going to be doing it for 90 seconds, so 1.5 minutes. And instead he's going to repeat it 55 times. No, not repeat it 55 times, he's going to be doing 55 reps. And then he's going to repeat this 5 times with 2-minute breaks in between. And then basically on the tricep dips, I'm going to say the same thing, but improve it from the last session that we had. So the last one that he had, the last score that he had in week 1, I want him to improve and carry on improving after each stage. So we're going to repeat that one 5 times as well, basically like a final push. and then Friday he's going to have another rest day, basically to recover again.